spooky season has come to polish pickup. Yeah! I don't know what that was. Hey everyone, it's Nicole from Nicole Loves Nails. Welcome to my channel. So in case you couldn't tell from my off-key singing, today's video is for the September 2023 polish pickup. The theme this month is Haunted History. My spooky ooky folks, this is our month. This is our month. Every year September is always a really hard month for me for deciding on things, and I'm scared to see what all the makers are bringing in. But if none of this made any sense to you, if you don't know what Polish Pickup is a monthly indie collaboration featuring many different indie nail polish brands from all around the globe who get together to sell limited edition nail polishes on one website for one weekend. Once a month. All the products featured are limited edition and you can only purchase them on the PPU website. There is international shipping is available if you're outside the US. Any item that has a cap on it means there are only a set number available, and once they're gone, they're gone. If any of this sounds of interest to you and you want to shop PPU, I highly recommend being on the PPU website when it opens up Friday, September 1st at 11 a.m. Eastern Time to pick up some of these items, because some items at low caps do go very, very, very quickly. And of course, I will have more information on PPU down in the description box. There's a link to the website if you want to read up more on these. This seems to get people every single month. All these items are sold on a pre-order basis, and they're not expected to ship for 3 to 4 weeks at the minimum after the sale period closes. I get messages every single month for people wondering where their stuff is. I'm just like, my dude, it's a pre-order. Before we get into today's video, I got a couple of things to mention. The first being, if you are new around here, hi, my name is Nicole. It is wonderful to meet you. Thank you very much for clicking on today's video. Do consider hitting subscribe if you enjoy nail polish and lifestyle related content. I upload new videos every single week on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and I also go live every Sunday. If you are in fact a returning subscriber, welcome back. How are you doing? If you saw the Hollow Taco video earlier this week, you already saw this shirt, but this is my first time wearing it, so I need everyone to know that I've got my Twilight shirt on. I'm feeling very silly today, and I'm wondering like what's going on. All the products featured in today's video were sent to me by the brands for the purpose of swatching and reviewing. This video is also sponsored. As always, all thoughts and opinions are my own. Thank you very much to the brands for sending these over to me. Speaking of which, at the time of recording, I am still awaiting several items for September PPU. If you are hearing me say this in the video, that means all the things that have not yet arrived when this video went up. In that case, I will be updating my blog post on NicoleLovesNails.com with all of my swatch photos if you want to see some other products available. As always, down in the description box, I will have links to the PPU website, their social media pages, my social media pages, as well as a link to my blog post on NicoleLovesNails.com, where I host all of my swatch photos, as well as provide a written review, and of course, timestamps are in the description box as well. Let's just get into this video. First up, we have Beaux Reves Lacquer with Bent Neck Lady. Beaux Reves was inspired by The Haunting of Hill House, and this one is described as being a dusky dark blue base with a violet red green shifting shimmer, a fiery red/orange magnetic pull, as well as holographic flakes. It is priced at $12 for 12 ml and has no cap. Bent Neck Lady had a fantastic formula, but it does start off a little bit sheer, so you will want to build this one to get the most opacity. This is going to be a 2 to 3 coater depending on application style and personal preference. If you want to magnetize this one, I would recommend going in for 3 coats. Once magnetized, this one does shear out a little bit, so I feel like that 3rd coat helps you get more opacity before you magnetize it. I absolutely love the base color on this one. I was kind of surprised when I read the official description saying it was a dusky dark blue. In my notes, I wrote it down as being like a teal base. I do not think photos do this polish any justice. You can kind of see how pretty it is in the video. There is just so much dimension. This is a very multi-dimensional polish, and it is just absolutely stunning. The holographic flakes will not dry down textured, and nothing in here is going to be difficult to remove. I had no issues with staining. Removal will also be on the more easy side, but fairly messy. And now we have Beaux Knees Lacquer with The Woman in Black. Beaux Knees was inspired by Sarah's own spooky experience while on a ghost tour. This one is described as being a black sister polish to Doomacorn with that same glowy green to aqua to blue shifting shimmer. It is priced at $13 for 15 ml and has no cap. Much like the previous polish, this one does start off very sheer, so you will want to build it up to get the most opacity. It is also going to be a 2 to 3 coater depending on how you feel about visible nail line. This is one of those polishes where the shimmer is really strong, but in brighter lighting when the shimmer is not as strong looking, you will definitely see some sheerness. I don't know if it's the base color that's throwing me off, but I would not have guessed that this was the same shimmer that is in the infamous Dumicorn. The shimmer is very strong and very glowy. It was as described for me in person. Love how strong the shimmer is. I really appreciate that it doesn't show any brush strokes, but I just feel like I didn't personally love this one. It is likely mostly because I'm not really a huge lover of a black base for the most part. That is 3 coats of the Woman in Black. Super easy removal, no issues with staining. And to address the elephant in the room, here is a side-by-side of the Bee's Knees polish from last month's polish pickup, Beneath the Erd Tree. Base colors between the two are different. Last month the base color was a greenish teal. This month the base color is black, and the shimmer also is different. Last month's shimmer had a gold color shift. This month does not. However, I will also fully recognize that both polishes have a very similar look on the nail, so whether or not you need both will be up to you. And now we have Color Spectrum Polish with Lady in Waiting. Color Spectrum Polish was inspired by the legend of a woman from the Honolulu International Airport. This one is described as being a magenta base with blurple flakes, as well as pink to purple aurora shimmer. It is priced at $12.50 for 13 ml and has a cap of 115 bottles. Lady in Waiting had a fantastic formula, and I absolutely love this base color. I was pleasantly surprised that I only needed 2 coats to reach full opacity with this one. However, looking at my footage, I do feel like I can see a little bit of visible nail line on a couple of my fingers that my eyes were not picking up in person. So I'll call this one a 2 to 3 coater, but I really liked coverage in 2 coats. I feel like I've been saying this a lot lately, but I feel like this polish has a very like juicy or squishy look to it on the nail. The thing in here is going to dry down textured. Removal will be very easy, and I had no problems with staining. And now we have KBShimmer with Take the Stairs. KBShimmer was inspired by a haunted hotel ride. KBShimmer has some of the longest and also most beautifully written descriptions for their polishes. So to shorten what they said, this is a black jelly base where you basically get a rainbow of flakies on the nail. It is priced at $12 for 15 ml and has no cap. Remember how earlier I said I don't really like a black base very much? This would be the exception. You get like a whole rainbow of flakies on the nail, and I absolutely loved it. This one was a little bit on the thicker side, but not overly thick by any means. I found it applied really nicely. The flakies do not dry down textured at all, and they did not seem like they were particularly top coat hungry. Just based on how like flaky dense this polish is, I could potentially see this one not seeming as glossy after a few hours of wear time. I was really surprised that I only needed 2 coats to reach complete full opacity with this one. In case you missed that shot a second ago, this looks absolutely amazing with a matte top coat. The thing in here is going to dry down like super textured. Removal will definitely be very messy. I don't see it being overly difficult. I still would not recommend scrubbing it off, but you could do that if you wanted, and I wouldn't say that you hate yourself for doing it. No issues with staining. Hi there. Different angle. This feels very weird at this angle. So I've got one non-nail polish item to share with you all this month, and it is the KBShimmer Sugar Scrub in the scent Caramel Apple Crunch. The inspiration on this one is the Caramel Apple Crunch. The brand describes the scent description on this one as notes of sweet and juicy apple, nutty notes of a rich caramel and brown sugar add depth to the apple notes, and every once in a while a hint of cinnamon tickles the nose. This is priced at $10 for 9.5 ounces. As someone who absolutely loves fall baking, I love making caramel apple anything. I love most apple fragrance scented things, especially when you throw in the cinnamon. Let's give this one a sniff. Oh God. This smells phenomenal, no surprise there. Here is how it looks in there. You can kind of see my jar has like some settling, like it's settled here on the side. This happens during shipping sometimes. Not a big deal. Obviously you can still use it. I certainly am. It comes with like a little foil protective seal on here to keep it from leaking during shipping. So the fragrance on this is phenomenal. It's very cinnamony, very appley, very sweet. And I do pick up something nutty. I wouldn't have called it caramel if I wasn't reading this, but I would say like something with apples, a little bit of nuttiness, and very, very sweet. So if you are unaware, KBShimmer makes my favorite sugar scrub. Not only do I get it in PR, but I also purchase it on a regular basis. I have more than I would like to admit at this point. This is a fairly coarse kind of scrub. If you want it to not be as coarse, when you scoop a little bit out, you can also add a little bit of water to your hands and just kind of do this, and it will kind of lessen the harshness of the scrub. I'm always struggling with what to say with this for each one because I feel like I say the same thing, but like the only thing that's changing is the fragrance on it. Pedicures, manicures, all the body, everywhere. I put this all over the body except for my face and my neck because I feel like the skin there is a little bit more delicate, but I have heard of some folks do put it on their face and neck. I just personally don't. And now we have Monarch Lacquer with Eerie Embers of Salem. The inspiration on this one are the fires of the witchcraft accusations from Salem. This one is described as being a dark orange jelly base with a red gold multi-chrome flake as well as black flakes. This one is priced at $13 for 15 ml and has no cap. Eerie Embers of Salem had a fantastic jelly formula. As you just saw, this one does start off very sheer, so you will want to build it up to get the most opacity. I did find that in 3 coats, I did still have a little bit of visible nail line. The depth that you get from building this one up, plus this being on the more sheer side, was just so damn beautiful. If that sheer pond style mani is not your jam, this one works really nicely as a topper. This is what you are seeing here. It reminded me a lot of like an orange version to Fair Maiden Polish's Mind Freak. I do believe is one of Fair Maiden Polish's more popular PPU polishes. I feel like it's come back for rewind like twice already. Eerie Embers of Salem truly is fall in a bottle. I did find that the base itself was on the thicker side, but this is also absolutely jam-packed with flaky, so that was not terribly surprising. Flakies did clump together a little bit on the brush, but I found I was able to even everything out really nicely once it got onto my nail. The flakies do dry down a little bit textured, and you might need an extra coat of top coat to keep everything smooth and glossy. Nothing in here is going to be overly difficult to remove. I still would not recommend scrubbing it off, but you know, you could if you wanted. I had no issues with staining. Next up, we have Music City Beauty with the Stanley. Music City Beauty was inspired by the Stanley Hotel, which inspired Stephen King's The Shining. This one is described as being a red base full of aurora shifting shimmer that shifts red, orange, and green with silver holographic flakies. It is priced at $14 for 15 ml and has a cap of 100 bottles. Stanley had a fantastic formula. It was a 1-coater on me, but my swatches do of course show it in 2 coats. This polish absolutely amazed me. I am new to recognizing that I can enjoy a red nail polish, and I just loved how this one looked on me. Like, it was absolutely gorgeous. This is going to be one of those reds that tend to photograph very orange toned, but it is definitely like a true red toned color. Hands are very warm toned in color, and I found that while this didn't make my hands look orangey red, it did pull some of that natural warmth in my skin tone out, where I did not find that it made my hands look orange, which is my normal complaint with more warm tone red shades. The shimmer and holographic are both more subtle, but you get a really pretty sparkle from the holographic. Nothing in here is going to dry down textured, super easy removal, and I had no issues with staining. This is a super duper pigmented polish, so I would really recommend doubling up on base coat if your nails are in any way prone to staining with reds. And now we have Night Owl Lacquer with Haunted Forest. Night Owl Lacquer was inspired by the thick, dark, mossy haunted forests in Washington.
As if you could outrun me! I'm designed to kill.
This one is described as being a linear holographic multi-chrome base that shifts to a blackened olive, red to orange. It is priced at $13 for 15 ml and has no cap. I don't think anyone can fault me for wanting to pretend that this polish is somehow in relation to Twilight, so I don't want to hear anything in the comments that this has nothing to do with Twilight, because forests of Washington, okay? To the polish, Haunted Forest had a fantastic formula. It built up perfectly for me in 2 coats. Holographic in here is strong. You get all the bling bling bow of like a glitter, but without any of the texture. In typical linear holographic fashion, this one does dry down fairly dull, so you will definitely want top coat for a nice glossy finish. Shimmer in here is also very strong. You will mainly be seeing that one in lower lighting situations where you're not seeing the holographic. Shimmer plus linear holo is actually my favorite iteration of linear holographics because you get the best of both worlds in all light sources. Stormy! You liking my footrest? Stormy girl, you liking the footrest? So that is 2 coats of Haunted Forest plus glossy top coat, super easy removal, and no issues with staining. And now we have Restored by Polish with Mysterious Waters. This one is described as being an indigo base with lavender microflakes, as well as a strong teal aurora shimmer. It is priced at $12.75 for 12 ml and has a cap of 100 bottles. Mysterious Waters had a fantastic formula. This one is going to be a 2 to 3 coater depending on personal preference. For my full on swatches, I swatched this one in 2 coats plus glossy top coat. To my eye, it had full even coverage. I noticed when I went back to look at my footage, however, I could see a couple of dark spots on multiple nails. So yeah, 2 to 3 coater. It has more of like a cruddy-like base, so you don't get nearly as much of the sheerness that you would if this was like a true jelly. I think the only thing that could have gotten me to like this a little bit more is if there was just like a dash of holographic in here, but you know, I love me some holo. Here is going to dry down textured. Removal is going to be very easy, and I had no problems with staining. Next up, we have Sweet and Sour Lacquer with The Saw Is Family. Sweet and Sour Lacquer was inspired by the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and this one is described as being a cherry red jelly base with black flakies and blue iridescent flakes. I do not have a pricing on this one yet, but it is a 15 ml bottle and has a cap of 500 bottles. Saw Is Family had a fantastic formula. On that first coat, this looks like a vibrant like red. You will need to build this one up to get this dark, almost blood kind of red shade. That sounds terrible, but that's what basically what happens. The more you build this one up, the darker that it will get. I really love this shade of red. It is perfect for Halloween manicures. The flakies in here all spread very evenly and easily. However, they do dry down a little bit textured. I have a feeling that this is going to be one of those flaky polishes that would benefit nicely from either a glitter smoothing top coat or doubling up on your normal quick dry top coat. They just seem to dry down a little bit more textured. Removal will not be overly difficult. I would not recommend scrubbing it off just because it will be incredibly messy, and I had no issues with staining. Alrighty, so final thoughts. Well, actually no, it's not going to be final thoughts because as I said, I'm still waiting for things to come in. I just got 2 in the mail a few minutes ago, so like I haven't swatched enough to be able to say what's definitely going to be my top pick. However, editing Nicole, give us your thoughts, please. Editing Nicole here. So as far as top picks go, I am trying so hard not to go with the Night Owl Lacquer because in my mind it's related to Twilight. As far as top picks go, I think I'm gonna go with the Beaux Reves polish, the Night Owl Lacquer polish, and it's a toss-up between KBShimmer and Sweet and Sour Lacquer. I'm undecided on which one of those I liked more, but I feel like those are gonna be my top picks from everything that I swatched this month. I think that's what I'm gonna go with. Take it away. I guess it's Nicole of the past. Take it away, Nicole from the past. Thank you, editing Nicole. Alright, so those were my final thoughts. I would love to know what everyone else is saying on picking up from PPU. I do not yet know what I'm getting from PPU this month. I will be doing my usual live stream for PPU for wish listing with me on August 27th at 3 p.m. That is a Sunday. And you know, feel free to come hang out. I feel like those live streams always get kind of wild. So yeah, come hang out if you want to see what I'm picking up for PPU. All I know is every year for September, I hem and haw and I have a really hard time deciding what I want because either something has a really good theme that gets me because it's spooky, or like it's a weird, prugly, Halloween-y kind of thing, and those always are like an instant buy for me. I will say though, I'm a little bit salty that this year's Halloween theme is haunted history and not just like general Halloween. Mainly because like I feel like Halloween time is always a really good excuse for some of my favorite TV shows to get polishes inspired by them. Do I need more Twilight and Buffy the Vampire Slayer themed nail polishes? Probably not, but I still want to buy some more. So I'm a little bit salty on the history aspect, but I think it's an interesting twist, so I guess we'll see what the makers have brought to the table. Before we end today's video, I want to give a very special shout out to my channel members. Besties, just thank you all so dang much. Your names are all on the screen right now. Just thank you all so dang much. If you would like to sign up for my channel memberships, I have a link for that down in the description box. But as always, no pressure at all from me for signing up, but I do appreciate for those of you who have signed up. If you don't want to sign up, that's cool too. Just, you know, like the video, comment, share, subscribe, all of the things. And seriously, we are good here. Just thank you all so very much for watching today's video. I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. Happy shopping. Don't forget to let me know what you're planning on picking up, and I hope everyone has a good one. Bye!
Nutter, I don't think she wants to play with you. I don't think she's having a good time.